Buddha's teachings to help you change your life. Let go of suffering, receive peace. For more than 2,500 years, the Buddha's teachings have guided people across cultures and generations toward inner peace, clarity, and freedom from suffering. While rooted in ancient India, his insights remain uncannily relevant to modern life, where stress, anxiety, and the constant pressure to achieve can leave us feeling overwhelmed and disconnected. At its heart, Buddhism offers a compassionate, practical roadmap. Understand your mind, release what causes suffering, and create the conditions for genuine peace. In this article, we explore key Buddhist teachings and how you can apply them in everyday life to loosen the grip of suffering and open yourself to a deeper, more lasting sense of peace. 1. Understanding the nature of suffering. The first step toward freedom. The Buddha's first teaching after his enlightenment was the Four Noble Truths, a profound framework for understanding why we suffer and how we can change our lives. 1.1 The First Noble Truth. Life contains suffering, dukkha. Suffering in Buddhism does not only refer to pain, loss, or trauma. It also includes subtle forms of dissatisfaction, wanting things to be different, clinging to what is pleasant, resisting what is unpleasant, or constantly chasing future happiness. In daily life, this ordinary suffering shows up as stress at work, anxiety about the future, feeling unfulfilled despite success, comparing ourselves to others, fear of losing what we love. Recognizing that suffering is universal and natural does not make life pessimistic. On the contrary, it opens the door to compassion for ourselves and for others who struggle just as we do. 1.2 The Second Noble Truth. Suffering has a cause. According to the Buddha, suffering arises primarily from craving and attachment, the constant desire for things to go our way, for life to match our expectations, for pleasant experiences to last forever. We suffer when we cling to achievements or identities, we depend on others for validation, we fear aging, illness, or change. We want certainty in an uncertain world. The Buddha invites us not to judge ourselves but to observe these patterns. When we see clearly how craving shapes our thoughts, we gain the power to soften its hold. 1.3 The Third Noble Truth. Suffering can end. This is the liberating promise of Buddhism. You are not doomed to stress or dissatisfaction. When craving and attachment loosen even a little, space opens for peace, clarity, and joy. The Buddha did not merely claim this, he lived it, and countless practitioners since then have experienced it for themselves. 1.4 The Fourth Noble Truth. The Path to Freedom. The Buddha offered a practical method to transform the mind and heart, the Noble Eightfold Path, a balanced approach to ethical living, mental discipline, and wisdom. You do not have to follow it perfectly. Even small steps can create significant change. 2. Letting go. The heart of Buddhist transformation. Letting go does not mean giving up, suppressing feelings, or becoming detached from life. In Buddhism, letting go means releasing the mental habits that cause tension, expectations, rigid beliefs, and emotional clinging. 2.1 Let go of control. Much of our suffering comes from trying to control what cannot be controlled. Other people's actions, external circumstances, the future, or the past. Buddhism teaches that control is an illusion. Everything is constantly changing, and the more we accept this, the lighter we feel. Practice. When you notice yourself resisting reality, wishing things were different, pause and breathe. Ask, can I let this moment be as it is? 2.2 Let go of negative self-narratives. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I always fail, or I don't deserve happiness, create internal prisons. These thoughts are not truth, they are mental habits. The Buddha teaches that the mind is trainable. By practicing mindfulness and compassion, we slowly reshape the inner voice. Practice. When a negative narrative arises, we observe it gently. This is just a thought, not who I am. 2.3 Let go of attachment to outcomes. We often tie our happiness to achieving certain results, getting a promotion, earning enough money, being admired, or winning someone's love. But desired outcomes are uncertain, and relying on them creates anxiety. Instead of fixing your happiness on results, place your intention on effort, integrity, and presence. Practice. Shift from outcome-focused thinking, I must succeed, to intention-focused thinking, I will do my best with clarity and kindness. 2.4 Let go of anger and resentment. Holding on to anger harms ourselves more than anyone else. The Buddha compared resentment to drinking poison and expecting another to die. Forgiveness does not excuse wrongdoing, it frees your own heart from the burden of bitterness. Practice. Breathe deeply and silently repeat, may I be free from anger, may others be free from anger. 3. Cultivating peace. Practical teachings for daily life. Letting go creates space, but peace is cultivated through practice. Buddhism offers several methods for nurturing a calm, steady mind. 3.1 Mindfulness, the art of being here. Now, mindfulness means being fully present without judgment. Many of our problems come not from the moment itself, but from our thoughts about the moment. When we bring awareness to the breath, the body, or our emotions, we interrupt automatic reactions and allow clarity to emerge. Simple mindfulness practices. Focus on your breath for 2 to 5 minutes. Pay attention to the sensations of walking. Listen deeply when someone speaks. Eat slowly and notice taste and texture. Mindfulness turns ordinary activities into anchors of calm. 3.2 Meditation. Training the heart and mind. Meditation is not an escape from life, it is a training ground for life. Through meditation, we learn to observe thoughts without being controlled by them. Regular meditation helps reduce anxiety, increase emotional resilience, improve concentration, deepen inner peace. You do not need long sessions. Even 10 minutes a day can make a profound difference over time. 3.3 Practicing compassion and loving kindness. Metta. Compassion softens the heart, dissolves anger, and connects us with others in a meaningful way. Loving kindness meditation involves silently repeating wishes such as, may I be safe, may I be peaceful, may you be happy, may all beings be free from suffering. By extending kindness inward and outward, we nourish a peaceful state of mind. 3.4 Living ethically. The foundation of peace. The Buddha emphasized morality not as dogma but as a practical method for inner harmony. When our actions align with kindness and honesty, we avoid guilt, conflict, and regret. Key ethical principles include not harming others, speaking truthfully, acting with intention and awareness, respecting boundaries, your own and others. Ethical living brings a quiet confidence and a sense of integrity that supports lasting peace. 4. Embracing impermanence. The wisdom that frees. One of the most transformative teachings of Buddhism is impermanence, the understanding that everything is in continuous change. Impermanence can be uncomfortable because we want stability. But the moment we truly accept change, suffering decreases. 4.1 Accept change, and your heart lightens your emotions. Your circumstances, your relationships, everything evolves. When you embrace this truth, you become more flexible and less afraid. Instead of clinging, you savor. Instead of fearing loss, you appreciate what is present. Instead of trying to freeze life, you flow with it. 4.2 Impermanence helps us heal pain, sadness, and fear also change. They arise and pass if we do not cling to them. Even when life feels overwhelming, impermanence reminds us this too will shift. 4.3 Impermanence leads to gratitude. Because nothing lasts forever, every moment becomes precious. We become kinder, more mindful, and more joyful when we realize the fragility and beauty of our experiences. 5. A path of practice, not perfection. The Buddha did not expect his followers to be perfect. The path is about progress, gentleness, and awareness, not achieving some ideal spiritual identity. What matters is showing up with sincerity, noticing your patterns, choosing compassion, beginning again and again. Some days will be peaceful, others will be messy. This is human life. Buddhism teaches us to meet every moment with patience and curiosity. 6. Let go of suffering. Receive peace. Your journey begins. Now you do not need to become a monk or dedicate hours each day to meditation to benefit from Buddhist wisdom. Small daily shifts can transform your life. A few mindful breaths before reacting. A moment of compassion toward yourself. Letting go of a rigid expectation. Accepting change with willingness. Speaking with gentleness instead of anger. These simple actions accumulate, opening your heart little by little. The Buddha's teachings are ultimately about liberation, freeing yourself from unnecessary suffering and discovering the peace that is already within you. When you understand your mind, soften your attachments, and cultivate awareness, you begin to experience life not as a battlefield, but as an unfolding journey. Peace is not something to chase. Peace is what arises when you stop resisting the present moment. Your transformation begins with a single breath and continues with every step you take on this path of clarity, compassion, and freedom. 7. Integrating Buddhist teachings into modern life. While the Buddha lived thousands of years ago, the challenges he addressed, stress, fear, desire, uncertainty, remain universal. The real power of his teachings lies in their adaptability. You don't need to change your religion, isolate yourself from society, or adopt rituals unfamiliar to you. What you need is willingness. Willingness to observe yourself, to let go just a little, and to practice consistently. Here are practical ways to integrate Buddhism into daily, modern living. 7.1. Start your day with presence. Instead of immediately checking your phone or rushing into tasks, take one quiet minute each morning. Sit, breathe, and set an intention such as, today I will respond rather than react. Today I will be gentle with myself. Today I will let go of what I cannot control. This small act plants a seed of awareness that influences the rest of your day. 7.2. Use everyday moments as mindfulness anchors. You do not need special meditation cushions or a calm environment. Use real-life moments as practice. During traffic, focus on your breath instead of frustration. While washing dishes, feel the temperature of the water. When walking, notice your steps and muscles. While working, pause for 10 seconds to reset your attention. Life itself becomes your meditation room. 7.3. Practice. Stop, breathe, see in difficult moments. When anger rises or anxiety builds or confusion overwhelms you. 1. Stop, pause the automatic reaction. 2. Breathe, return to the body. 3. See, observe the emotion without feeding it. This 3-step method breaks old patterns and opens space for new responses. 8. The power of compassion in transforming your life. Peace is not only found within, it also grows through our connection with others. The Buddha emphasized compassion as a fundamental quality of a liberated mind. 8.1 Compassion begins with yourself. Many people are harsh toward themselves, thinking self-criticism will push them to improve. But harshness builds tension, stress, and self-doubt. True growth comes from self-understanding. Try saying to yourself, "It's okay to struggle. I am doing the best I can. May I be peaceful and free." Self-compassion is not weakness. It is emotional strength. 8.2 Compassion for others brings inner peace. When we let go of grudges or soften our judgments, our own hearts become lighter. The Buddha taught, hatred does not cease by hatred. Hatred ceases only by love. When you choose understanding instead of anger, tolerance instead of resentment, you benefit far more than the other person. 8.3 Compassion creates better relationships. Buddhist teachings can transform how you interact with loved ones. Listen deeply without interrupting. Speak honestly but gently. Avoid reacting from hurt or ego. Recognize that others suffer. 2. Kindness is contagious. When you change your way of relating, others respond with more openness and warmth. 9. The middle way, a balanced path to peace. One of the Buddha's central insights is the middle way, avoiding extremes of indulgence and self-denial. 9.1 Why balance matters. Life becomes stressful when we push ourselves too hard or neglect ourselves too much. Balance creates resilience. In modern life, the middle way might look like working hard but not overworking, caring for others without draining yourself, saving money without becoming fearful of spending, being disciplined without being rigid. Balance brings ease, clarity, and sustainability. 9.2 The middle way in emotions. Avoiding extremes also applies to emotions. Don't suppress feelings. Don't drown in them. Allow them to arise, be felt, and pass naturally. This approach leads to emotional intelligence and stability. 10. Awakening. Awareness, seeing reality as it truly is. The deeper purpose of Buddhist practice is awakening, seeing clearly without distortion. 10.1 Seeing things as they are. We often see the world through the filter of fear, desire, ego, or past trauma. Awareness helps us drop these filters and understand situations more accurately. 10.2 Awareness brings freedom. When you recognize anger as anger, fear as fear, craving as craving, joy as joy, they lose their control over you. You act from wisdom, not habit. 10.3 Awareness reveals interconnectedness. The Buddha taught that all beings and events are interconnected. This insight encourages kindness, humility, and gratitude. 11. Your journey toward peace. A practical roadmap. To help you apply these teachings, here is a simple roadmap you can begin today. Daily practices. 5 minutes of mindful breathing. 1 minute of morning intention setting. 3 moments of stop, breathe, see during stressful times. A short gratitude reflection at night. Weekly practices. 1 longer meditation session, 15-30 minutes. A walk in nature, a digital detox moment. An act of kindness for someone else. Inner practices. Notice your attachments. Let go of expectations that cause stress. Forgive when ready. Speak kindly to yourself. These small, consistent practices cultivate a peaceful mind and compassionate heart. 12. Conclusion. The peace you seek is already within you. The Buddha's teachings are not about escaping life, but about meeting life with clarity, courage, and love. Suffering is not a punishment, it is a signal, a teacher, a doorway. When you understand where suffering comes from, you can let go of what fuels it. And when you let go, peace naturally arises. Peace is not something outside that you must chase. Peace is something inside that you uncover. Peace comes when you release the struggle and rest in the simplicity of the present moment. Your journey to transformation does not require perfection. It requires awareness, patience, and compassion toward yourself and others. With each mindful breath, each gentle thought, each act of kindness, you step closer to the freedom the Buddha spoke of. A life where suffering loosens its grip and peace becomes your natural home. 13. The inner revolution. Transforming yourself from the inside out. The Buddha's teachings are often described as an inner revolution. Instead of trying to change the external world, which we cannot fully control, Buddhism invites us to transform our inner world. When your mind changes, your experience of life changes. 13. 1. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Life will always bring challenges, unexpected losses, disappointments, misunderstandings, financial stress, health issues. We cannot eliminate these waves of experience, but we can train ourselves not to be overwhelmed by them. This is the essence of inner transformation. 13.2 Real change begins with awareness. Instead of reacting blindly, you start to observe why you feel triggered, how fear shapes your thoughts, when anger tightens your chest, how your expectations create stress. This self-awareness is not judgment, it is liberation. You begin to understand yourself deeply, which naturally leads to wiser choices. 13.3 Freedom comes from within. The Buddha taught that external conditions can influence us, but true freedom does not depend on them. Someone may live in luxury and still suffer. Someone with modest means can be peaceful. Freedom is an internal skill, the ability to meet life with balance, clarity, and an open heart. 14. Letting go is a practice, not a one-time decision. Many people misunderstand letting go. They think it's something you do once and never worry about again. But in Buddhism, letting go is an ongoing practice, a willingness to loosen the grip each time the mind clings again. 14.1 Letting go of the past. The past cannot be changed, yet the mind loves to replay regrets, mistakes, and old wounds. Each time you notice yourself returning to the past, you can gently say, "This moment is new. The past cannot touch me now." Day by day, the emotional weight becomes lighter. 14.2 Letting go of the future. The future is uncertain and anxiety tries to control it. But when you trust the flow of life, you open space for peace. Letting go does not mean being irresponsible, it means not being consumed by fear of the unknown. 14.3 Letting go of ego. The ego seeks praise, validation, superiority, and control. But these desires create endless tension. In Buddhist teachings, humility and openness bring true strength. 15. The peaceful mind, understanding the nature of thought. The human mind produces thoughts constantly, an estimated 60,000 to 80,000 a day. Many of these thoughts are repetitive, negative, or habitual. The Buddha teaches that thoughts are not truth. They are mental events that arise and pass. 15.1 You are not your thoughts. This is one of the most liberating insights in Buddhism. Just because your mind says, "I'm not good enough," "everything is going wrong," "I can't handle this," it does not mean these statements are true. Thoughts are like clouds. Your awareness is the sky. 15.2 Observing thoughts reduces their power. When you watch your thoughts instead of believing them, they lose control over you. A storm becomes a passing weather pattern, not a permanent reality. 15.3 Replacing judgment with curiosity. Instead of judging yourself for thinking negatively, Try curiosity. Why did this thought arise? What emotion is behind it? Curiosity leads to understanding. Understanding leads to peace. 16. The essence of Buddhist peace. Meeting life with open heart. Peace in Buddhism is not a passive state. It is alive, awake, and engaged. It comes from meeting life with wisdom and compassion rather than resistance. 16.1 Acceptance is not giving up. Acceptance means seeing things clearly without denial or emotional struggle. From acceptance comes strength, because you stop wasting energy fighting reality. 16.2 Peace comes from alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, actions, and values align, inner conflict dissolves. You feel whole, present, centered. 16.3 PC is the natural state of the mind. According to the Buddha, the mind is originally pure. Like calm water, it becomes cloudy because of nittam, craving, fear, anger, ignorance. When these disturbances settle through practice, peace reveals itself. You do not create peace, you uncover it. 17. Walking the path, what progress really looks like. Progress on the Buddhist path is not measured by how calm you appear or how spiritual you seem. It is measured by how you relate to life's challenges. 17.1 You become less reactive. A difficult situation that used to trigger anger may now evoke patience or curiosity. 17.2 You suffer less from the same experiences. Problems may still arise, but you no longer create additional suffering through harsh self-judgment or exaggerated fear. 17.3 You become kinder. Naturally, kindness stops being an effort. It becomes your natural state because your heart is no longer weighed down. At 17.4 You accept imperfection. You stop expecting perfection from yourself or others. You embrace humanity, both yours and everyone else's. 18. A final invitation. Begin where you are. You don't have to retreat to a monastery, meditate for hours a day, or follow every Buddhist teaching perfectly. The Buddha's path is for ordinary people living ordinary lives. Begin with just one breath of awareness, one moment of letting go, one act of compassion, one gentle response instead of an angry one, one acceptance of change. This is how transformation begins. Small, humble steps taken with sincerity. With time, these steps reshape your entire inner world.